Hey there guys, it's Rick User here with AirgunWeb, and today we're going to take a look at another product from Air Arms. This is the TX200. This is probably hands down my absolute favorite spring air gun. Let's take a look. All right guys, so before we get started, I want to say thank you to Air Arms for sponsoring these videos. They make a lot of different guns, and I know we focus on the PCPs most of the time, but they make some exquisite spring guns. Now this is the TX200. And it's in 22, it's also available in 177, and it's really just a work of art. So this is the right-handed version in a walnut stock, and this is gonna be an expensive air gun, just full stop. I mean, regardless of PCP or otherwise, this gun's gonna be pricey, but there's a reason for it. When you start looking at the detail in this gun, it starts to make sense. Now, if you're new to air guns, you're probably gonna look at this and go, wow, $600, $700, $800 for a spring gun, that just makes no sense. Well, look, if you're buying your first gun, it's probably not going to be your first air gun. But if you get into the hobby and you really enjoy air gunning, then this is going to be one you're going to want in your collection. Now, let's talk about some of the cool features we got here. First things first, it's under lever cocking. So the barrel is fixed, and if you can look at that bluing right there, that is really gorgeous. The system has multiple layers of bear trap protection. So once you cock this, now the gun is cocked, it will not release. Even if you accidentally bump it, it's got multiple teeth that catch it all the way through. Now, the downside to that is now I do need to put a pellet in this and shoot it. So I'm gonna ask my assistant, who is over there, to hand me a 22 cal pellet. Corey, I need any 22 cal pellet you may have at your disposal. There's one right there. No, that's not what I was looking at. Air Arms. There you go. Anyone except the other two he grabbed. So we're going to drop a pellet in this real quick here. Okay. I'm going to ask Corey to move out of the way. Yes. Don't mind the noises. This is a working shop. We're building, Corey, a new shop behind us. So I'm going to go ahead. Now, if you notice what I did there, I'll show you again because I just do it by habit. When this is locked down, you have to use your left hand. You go ahead and push that little lock release in, and it slides right up, it clips into place, you're good to go. Automatic safety on this back side, and you are ready to roll. That's how it works. Now, the trigger on this gun is an absolute dream to shoot with. It is a fully adjustable match trigger, which is awesome. Lothar-Walther match barrel. Everything about this gun really justifies the price point. So yes, it's expensive, but everything about this really says it's worth it, especially if you're into like super premium air guns. If you're an air gunner who really loves the hobby, you're gonna wanna have this gun. Now, we've talked enough about it. Let's go out to the range, do a little shooting, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so all right, everybody, we have got the Air Arms TX200 here. First thing we're gonna do is shoot some shots over the chronograph. If you're into air gunning and you really love the sport, that is going to be something you want to buy. Get a decent chronograph because that's going to help you diagnose what's going on with your gun. You're going to be able to tune it. You're going to be able to know exactly what kind of performance you're getting. You don't have to rely on the box. So the other thing, we've got some noise going on between the canopy here, guys in construction and some other things. So please forgive that. It's just part of the nature of the beast we got going on here. It's first really good weather and we're all trying to do something at the same time. So first things first, I've got 16 grain Air Arms pellets and I've got 18 grain Air Arms pellets. And let's see what they're doing over the chronograph. So again, the process to load and fire this gun, that's opened up here. Here we go ahead and cock the gun. Now I secure this just out of habit. It's just good habit. All right, so I hold this just to be safe. Go ahead and load your pellet. Go ahead and grab the release and go ahead and shut the cocking lever. Now, the other thing with regards to spring guns that you really can never get away from is the need to have good technique. So the particular technique we use for spring guns is called the artillery hold, and it really works like this. We're going to take the rifle and sort of balance it, and I'll find something on the gun that kind of gives me a point of reference. So in this particular gun, I use these two fingers to kind of feel the release, and that's where I know that I'm grabbing at the same time each time I go to fire. Because there's a piston moving in here, you have a rocking action during the shooting cycle while the pellet is still in the barrel. So if you move your hand on the forearm, it changes where the gun rocks. It can change your point of impact pretty dramatically. So you want to always rest it at the same space each and every time. The other side of it is everybody wants to shoot off bags. That can be problematic. So always use your hand. And I really don't use this. It's kind of there to just hold the gun when I'm not shooting. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to shoot just in the sighter here. Safety off. Okay, so 583 is what we're getting with the 16s. Let's try it again. Okay, duplicate, 583. So extraordinarily consistent. Now, that went in the same hole. Let's try one more. All right, so we've got 3 shots touching. That one jumped to 585. That's pretty good. Now, these guns are not made for like uber power. These guns are made for backyard precision shooting. And actually over in the UK, this is going to be your 10 to 12 foot-pound gun. They actually hunt with these out to 50 yards. So even though we're not pushing a lot of velocity, there is enough energy to take small game, and you can do so very accurately. So we're going to go ahead and move to the 18 grain pellet now. Okay, cock it. All right. Turn it back. All right, release the safety. I'm going to check the other sider. Okay, it went a little bit more high right. And we're at 563, so not a big change in velocity. Okay, 578. That was kind of a more of a change there. Here we go. Okay, 574. Now, I think the 16s are going to shoot better. Just from looking at that, the top group was basically 3 shots touching. The bottom group, it opened up somewhat. So I'm going to stick with the 16 grains for the rest of this little shooting session here. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and move the camera up there so you guys can get a close in of the target. And I'm going to get sighted in, and then we'll circle back around, do some accuracy tests, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. Just wanted to verify my distance there. We are right at 30 yards, which is pretty good. It's a nice backyard distance. And I'm running my Hawke. This is the Airmax scope. I really like this scope. Just a good baseline scope. Etched glass reticle, awesome. I've got my Hawke rangefinder, which I absolutely love. And it sounds like we got a quail over there. Okay, we'll save hunting for another day. All right, so let's go ahead and do some accuracy tests. Now, when you get a new Springer, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a really super nice one like this or maybe a more affordable one, you're gonna have to spend some time learning the unique characteristics of the gun. So the other thing, you always wanna double check your stock screws on both sides and up underneath here, because if they get loose, your accuracy goes to crap. And also make sure your scope stays tight. So these have a lot more recoil than you would imagine. And granted, we're not talking recoil like a 30-06 or a 12 gauge into your shoulder, but just the movement of the mechanics inside the gun really can wreak havoc on your mounts and your scope and all that other stuff. Even with a gun that's as sweet as this, it's still part of the nature of just the technology, spring, gas ram, whatever. It's going to rattle things around. So just keep an eye on your stock screws, your scope mounts, all that kind of stuff. So we're at 30 yards. I've got, basically got things sighted in, I hope. And let's see how I do here. Yeah, I should stop right now. That sort of drilled right through the red bullseye, which is what you want. I mean, that's about as awesome as you can imagine, and I should walk away right this second. But let's take another shot. Let's see if I can do it again here. A little bit to the right. There it is. Oh, that is actually, we have a couple road runners on the on the range. We got one down there and one up here. He's right behind the target. I'll have to be careful not to hit him. There it is. Okay. Okay, there's 5 shots, and that's basically what you're going to get just all day long with this gun. Now, I know that there's a lot of other things on the market between semi-automatics, big powerful PCPs, but this is sort of where I started. I started with spring guns, just the ability to just take a very deliberate one shot at a time. You're really having to watch your technique. You're really having to watch your trigger control, your follow through. I like that aspect of air gunning personally. This thing, I don't know, it's just the top level of air guns as far as I'm concerned in the spring gun category. Maybe there's one that's slightly above this and that's its big brother, which is the Air Arms Pro Sport. I have one of those too. Maybe we'll do a video on that next month. All right, so I know it's kind of really up on the upper end of the price point. I get it. But if you're into the sport, you really love the hobby of air gunning, you're definitely going to want to have one of these for your collection. Guys, that's it for now. My name's Rick Utzer. Thanks for watching.